6, 5, 4, 3.
Ready, set, go!
Yeah, whole team on a loose. Kick it up like Kung Fu. Untamed, yeah, cool. Running plays like who knew. Hella fast when I slide through. You would've thought we was in a zoo. Engine roar like a lion do. Daredevil, I'm a damn fool. Switching lanes, hanging out the roof. Tires screech when I bend the corner. All you see is a big poof. Then I'm leaving my initials. Street marks, I'm official. Taking off like a missile. You can hear the wind whistle.
Yeah, I don't think they ready. I don't really think they want it. I don't think they ready. Hey, yeah, I don't think they ready. I don't really think they want it. I don't think they ready. Ready, set, go! 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 Ready, set, go! 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 Yeah, ready, set, go!
Get into it like pronto, get hit with a combo. Do it large, real jumbo. So dirty like gumbo. Big money in a two-seater. Hair blowing, you see her. I got her, you need her. Never would I wanna be and I've been grinding all of my life. Now look at my sights. Mile high, I'm fly. Ride till I die. Look how I arrive like the president inside. See the look in their eyes.
I don't think they ready. I don't really think they want it. I don't think they ready. Yeah, I don't think they ready. I don't really think they want it. I don't think they ready. Ready, set, go!
Ready, set,
Go!
let's go.
Go!
On your mark,
Go!
Yeah.
Ready, set, go!
ready, set,
Go!
on your mark,
Go!
let's go.
Go! Yeah, ready, set, go!
Yeah, and you know I like big coupes. Two-seater with the missing roof. Run a meter to a can't boot. I'm the best, got them all mute. Break the bank, talking big loot. Business talk, making big moves. Full tank, no I can't lose. Left them in the dust confused. All I ever did was break rules. Full throttle, I don't like cruise. Guess I got a couple screws loose. Son devil, I'm a damn fool. Ain't no telling what I might do. Taking off like a missile. Street marks, I'm official.
Yeah, I don't think they ready. I don't really think they want it. I don't think they ready. Hey, yeah, I don't think they ready. I don't really think they want it. I don't think they ready. Ready, set, go!
Ready, set,
Go!
let's go.
Go!
On your mark,
Go! Ready, set, go!
ready, set,
Go!
on your mark,
Go!
let's go.
Go! Ready, set, go! 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 Ready, set, go! 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 Ready, set, go! Go! Ready, set, go!
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. I am your host, Cardinellis. Oh, I just realized I forgot my hat. Dang it.
Oh, no.
I feel naked. It's like I'm driving without my seatbelt.
Do you want one from the merch store?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we might just have to do that one. Signed hat worn on studio available. On camera available in the Ward Radio merch store. Coming soon. No, I'll get a real one. Anyway, we got a great show planned today. In studio, we got Calli Baker here. You guys might recognize her from Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
About Our Hope.
About Our Hope. Okay,
Yes.
Awesome. You know, I'm going to have to put that up on the screen. Instagram, About Our Hope. If I were truly prepared, then this actually would have been done earlier and ready. But if there's any question, we're doing this live. There's your answer right there. Here
Yep,
is
there
Calli
it is.
Baker. You guys may recognize her. Are you a garment girly, a culture commentator? What are you?
You know, I don't know if I would quite say I'm a garment girly, but I have posted a couple of garment friendly outfits I have.
Okay.
Um,
You're OOTP.
what's the
Oh, no,
P?
OOTD. Yeah.
I was
sorry.
like, I don't know this one. What is this one?
Oh, yeah.
I know, I
for
thought you were
real.
onto something that I was behind on.
Yeah, for real. Well, you also got a hot husband.
It's
there he is.
true.
Boom. What's up, Austin?
What's up, guys?
Oh, now you're poorly lit, bro. I gotta.
Gotta give me the lighting.
Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay,
There we go.
you got a hot husband.
Hey.
There we
I
are.
do.
Who
In studio.
I just found out you watched the show, bro. Huh?
That's right. Yeah, I've watched the show for years.
How'd you find out about Ward Radio, man?
So I got really into all the different theological debate people online. William Lane Craig was one of my favorites. And then that kind of led me to Jacob Hansen, and then I wanted to watch more Jacob Hansen, and he was on Midnight Mormons, and so just binged all of your guys' videos. So yeah, I was here for Midnight Mormons, went all the way through to the rebrand, Ward Radio, and yeah, it's been a blast.
All right, rock on, sweet. So we got an interesting show planned out for the day. Apparently toxic femininity is dead, woke is broke. It's official, the nail in the coffin was Taylor Swift's wedding. Calli, tell us what we are talking about today. Just let's dive right in, and then we're going to get to some super chats.
Yeah, let's dive right in. So Taylor Swift got engaged this week, and I feel like the whole world just stopped. And it is what everyone was talking about. And Taylor Swift, I mean, is not even arguably like the most impactful figure, cultural figure right now. Like, she's the Elvis Presley of our day. And she got engaged. Like, this is a huge deal. And everyone is so excited about it. And whether you like Taylor Swift or not, I would not consider myself a Swiftie. I'm also...
Oh my gosh, Calli.
But I'm not anti at all. Like, I grew up...
That's fine.
I grew up on Taylor Swift, loved all of, like, the Fearless.
I love how we just use all the nomenclature of the church and have accepted that she is a church. I'm not anti Taylor Swift,
It's
you
so
know?
real.
But okay, keep going. That's funny.
Yeah, so I am not against Taylor Swift, not like a super fan, but regardless of if you love Taylor Swift or hate her, this is a insanely good thing for our culture and for like the culture of the church, I really believe. And because it shows that marriage is a good thing. Like, she would not be getting engaged and getting married if marriage was just about women being men's property. She would not be participating in that institution. But it shows the validity of the institution of marriage, and all of the young girls who are obsessed with her. Now, all they're going to be thinking about is the engagement story. They want to hear it. They want to hear all of the wedding details. And it brings back this, yeah, every girl wants a happily ever after. And that is so much of a better story than the girl boss, do it on your own. You don't need a man.
Yeah.
So
Make marriage great again.
That's funny.
bring back romance. That's
Yeah.
what.
Okay, well, so let's talk about this. I mean, that's been the status quo for a decade, 20 years, maybe even 30 years. I know that is kind of like millennial women. I think they feel under pressure that unless they are married, they better be getting their PhD. And by the way, if you get married before your PhD, well, you're just stupid. And I think there's been a lot of pressure of pressure on women to, girl boss first, marriage second. Marriage is like a luxury that you do once you've proven and you've made partner and you don't need it anymore or something. Like, so yeah, let's talk about young women in the church right now. Like, what's working for them, what's working against them. You deal with these ladies all the time. Like, what's the battlefield with ladies right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just like the battle is in the media. And I mean, it's not an argument of whether or not the media influences us. It does. Like, what you watch, what you listen to. It's not that it can have an impact. It's that it literally does impact you and impact the way that you're thinking. And so all of the media, like you're saying, for the last 20 years has been this messaging of, you don't need a man, religion is oppressive, marriage is oppressive. All of these things are bad patriarchal institutions that you don't need. And so I feel like, I mean, we've seen it in, like, you've seen it in movies, you've seen it in TV shows. But then when we start to see these women who were kind of the main figures of it, and they then choose for themselves in their personal lives instead to go down more traditional value path, I mean, I think that is just going to be so impactful, and that is what young women need right now. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. There is a hypocrisy with woke and with like anti-Mormonism. They talk so much about like alternative methods of doing things, but I think it's something like 85% of wealthy people that make more than 85% of American wealth, like the top 15% of wealth in America, like 85% of them register to vote a certain way, make a certain amount of money. and have a certain amount of influence that advocates for all these alternative options, but like they are overwhelmingly something like to the 98th percentile married heterosexually, you know what I'm saying, to an original partner and transferring wealth intergenerationally and like the most absolutely traditional demographic out there. So like they're not at all, it's almost like enforcing luxury beliefs upon poor people. You know, that kind of, because the people that actually end up getting influenced by all these supposed lifestyle changes are actually the poor. And you're right, there's a ton of sound bites going around young women right now. And before I just jump into your page here, because I think it's really interesting, your first post actually here, and we're actually gonna go over that. I think it's a really good one. What are probably the top 5 or the top 3, top in general, negative sound bites you think that are hitting women right now? Taylor Swift has probably just destroyed the top one, that marriage is bad for you. Religion harmful, marriage a toxic patriarchal construct. Taylor Swift just got rid of that one. What are the biggest, baddest messaging going after young women right now? Because that's probably the predominance of your audience.
You're
right?
saying in the church?
Yeah, against women in the church.
Yeah.
Especially young women, because you have a very young audience.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, just speaking to your point of they don't practice what they preach, I mean, we can get into it a little bit more later, but literally, Haley Rawl, Alyssa Grenfell, 2 of the biggest ex-Mormon accounts, they're married in heterosexual relationships, have children, so they're benefiting from the stability of the institution of marriage and the family life that the church, encourages. But then they're preaching something different. And there's so many of these women who fall into that category. So it's such an interesting point that you bring up.
With an overtime job that's full-time plus overtime, I wonder how many videos Girls Camp and Alyssa Grenfell could make. Without their traditional marriage, I wonder how much content they could pump out.
No, literally.
That's interesting.
But as far as like the top 3 things that I think are impacting young women, I mean, I feel like the whole message is just that you should put yourself first and that your wants and your desires should come first over like marriage, over starting a family, that you shouldn't be wanting or pursuing this responsibility and that you should just go do whatever you want and pursue your dreams without realizing that pursuing marriage and family is only going to set you up to live that life and actually pursue the things that you want in a much better environment.
All right. Rock on. Is this tracking, Austin? Is this tracking?
Yeah, fill in Austin for me.
I think it is tracking. One thing me and Calli were talking about just on our drive out here is how important it is to like the stories that we subscribe to or the narratives that we kind of follow. So I think we're kind of seeing now like the 10-year lag of the narrative that was pushed from whatever you want to call it, feminism or whatever, of you don't need a husband, you don't need kids, just go live your career. But we've had enough time now to kind of see how that plays out in reality. And so younger people and Taylor Swift now are seeing like, yeah, maybe that idea wasn't all it was cracked up to be. It was fun for a few years or it was fun for a decade. But as time passes, you realize like, yeah, a family is going to be way more fulfilling than just going to your job or like those are the things that truly matter and make life meaningful. And so depending on what story or what narrative you subscribe to is kind of how you're going to change the trajectory of your life. And so, yeah, the message of the gospel, of family, of like, you know, Calli is just such a great example of this, of you can be an incredible mom, an incredible wife. You can still pursue your hobbies and careers. Like it doesn't hold you back, but if anything, it does just increase so many areas of your life. So, yeah, I think it's awesome. Go Taylor Swift.
Well, go Taylor Swift. That's funny. So I'm looking at your social media profile here, and Calli, holy smoke, you are going after some serious sacred cows of woke here. Your first video is you say Mormon and you stay Mormon and still glow up. Oh, my gosh. We got to look at this one. Hold on. What does this say?
Got to get the audio on.
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. It's amateur hour here. Now we go. Okay, hold on. We're going to refresh. Here we go.
And I'm like, who was that girl?
It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl.
when I look at myself as a Mormon, I'm like, who was that girl?
Oh my gosh, wait, I recognize that voice. Wait, did you just stitch girls camp there or what?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
My
what
girl,
was
Haley Roll.
what was the you say my girl? Has there been beef between
No,
you two or what?
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she stitched one of my videos, but I don't.
Okay.
Maybe there's beef for her. I don't know if there's beef.
Okay, so let's talk about this one. You stay Mormon and still glow up. So is that a pretty consistent thread amongst women that you have to leave the church in order to glow up?
Yeah, well, there was this trend in the ex-Mormon online space of, look at my glow up. Now that I've left the church, I can wear whatever I want, and I'm wearing tank tops, and look at how much fun I'm having. I'm dancing at this party, and like my life is so free. And it was, but then the pictures that they were showing of their Mormon life were like, yeah, when you're a teenager at the temple, you don't look very good. Like
Doc
if
Mark.
you just did baptisms, like, yeah, your hair is wet. You look like, of course you don't look that good. Or like, even like when you get married, like we were talking about this earlier, like the older you get, the better you look. Like that's just how it goes. And so anyway, I just was like, look, and I think that this is an important message for women. You don't have to leave the church to glow up. Like it's literally just a matter of like taking care of yourself and having a fun life, I feel like.
Yeah, for those that weren't privy to our little green room conversation, I think what you're referencing is the fact that there was that survey that was done on Victoria's Secret models, rating them on a scale of 1 to 10 to an average selection of men. And as they got older, they were actually rated as being more attractive than their younger counterparts, which shows that, yes, some of beauty is youth and symmetry and certain estrogen markers and so on and so forth. But a lot of it is actually just learning how to represent yourself better. And after 10 years of having professionals figuring out what looks best on you with contoured makeup or with, you know, an A-line dress instead of a tube top or whatever, you start realizing, okay, this is what's flattering, this is what's not. So you don't necessarily have to leave the church in order to have a glow up. You just need to mature sometimes, which I think is actually a very fair supposition, shall we say. So, okay, so I'm going back to your profile here. And what's another soundbite that you feel is going after women right now? And I want to see if you have oh my gosh, you stitched Alyssa Grenfell here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now we got to watch that one. We just got to watch
This
that one.
is kind of awkward to watch my own videos.
Is it really? Is it really? That's funny. So, okay, so what? Well, actually, no. You know, Austin, you're not the first lady. What's the opposite of a
The first gentleman.
You're the first gentleman. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're the first gentleman of our guest of honor here, Calli Baker here. Choose a number between 1 and 12.
Oh gosh.
5.
5, you
Do you
say.
know it's a
okay.
good one?
I don't know.
So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who God says you are. And it's pointing to the next.
So yeah, this wasn't really, you could go actually to the reel just after this one and it would be a better, because this was a post explaining a little challenge that I did.
Oh, okay. So the next one.
Yeah, look at that one. That's a better one.
Society says you are oppressed. Society says you are anxious, but God says you are building generations face God. Oh, this is great. Oh, there's no audio.
There it is. There's
Lame.
Remind me once again just who I am, because
Okay, pause for copyright. Go.
I need to know.
All right, rock on. Is that St. George?
St. George.
Really? That's St. George Temple?
Yep, renovated.
Oh, wow. They had to have added on then, right?
Yeah, they did add on.
It is true that St. George Temple still has not the hole, but the dent in the podium of the chapel from where Brigham Young was smacking his cane.
I have no idea.
Yeah, chat. You guys got to let us know if I believe the St. George Temple. Yeah, dude, here it is. Hold on.
They left it when they restored it.
Yeah, St. George Temple podium, Brigham Young dent. Let the devil roar. Brigham Young's after the ceremonies, If you like the St. George Temple, you'll enjoy this lecture. Yeah, no, inside that little chapel on the front left room, we did the tour once, and there's still the same podium from like when it was built. And apparently Brigham Young was smacking his cane so hard that he actually put a dent in it. And since Brigham Young did it, like they've always kept that dent there or something like that.
Well, that's fun. Well, maybe I'll have to go check for you.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, we got a couple of super chats here. Brittany, keepers of the chats. You want to read the super chats?
Yes. First one is from Hyper Fox. Says, we need Jonah here to tell us how the Apocrypha predicted this.
True dat.
And Mocha Wolf says, missing Megan on the show. Great energy. I will let Megan know. I was actually just texting her.
Yeah, dude, for real. Well, we're gonna be
Megan in here.
We're gonna be what's it called?
Mocha Wolf, do you not like my energy? Do you not like Calli's energy? Now we have beef, Mocha Wolf. So just kidding.
Yeah, no. How do you say arrancar in English? To boot up. That's a computer. What's it called when you start a car? Fire up. To kind of fire up a car. Yeah, we're gonna be. What's the automotive term though?
Ignite.
Whatever. We're going to be starting back up again, Women Award Radio, now that summer vacation's over pretty soon. And so, yeah, Megan's going to be back, and it's going to be totally rad. Okay, any other super chats?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so before we pick another number between 1 and 12, like, what's the story of just like you and, you know, your channel, what you got you into this? Just start talking, because I want to know. I think a lot of what the
like one question like we got at FAIR was, how do women get started in this, and what would you tell a woman who wanted to get started in this? Like, where do you even start?
Yes, that's true, and that's actually a valuable question. And actually do that one first as I formulate what I'm thinking. Just what would you say to any women out there that are thinking, I want to be like Calli Baker?
Oh yeah, I would say that you literally can. All that it takes, how I feel truly is like the only thing that qualifies me to do this is just that I'm willing to say it. Like, I do not know more than anybody. I am not a scriptorian. I am not a seminary teacher, historian, like literally have zero qualifications in that way. But the only thing that has qualified me and that has made it happen is just that I'm willing to say it and willing to say it publicly. So if you have beliefs and things that you believe and things that you think are true, that is like my criteria for posting is just, do I believe this is true? And if I think it's true, then I should be willing to say it, and I should be willing to say it publicly. And just having like, it really, I think, just takes like setting up around yourself the community. My husband is so awesome, so supportive. I have an amazing group of friends that are super supportive, great family members. And so having this community around you that's like backing you, and then it gives you the confidence to post it and say it. And the thing is, it really doesn't take a lot to grow in this space other than to just do it. Like, it's still so new. So if you want to do it, then like absolutely, like we need more people, more especially women, speaking out in a positive way for the church.
I do feel like there is kind of an uphill battle against women, because if you're a member of the church and you're womaning well, or whatever you want to call it, you're so slammed with kids and your volunteer work. And many of these ladies do have a gig that they've actually been able to work inside of their schedule and so on and so forth. And there's so many balls that you're just juggling that if you're like a successful LDS woman, you are so slammed. Who has time for Instagram? We all have time to consume it, but time to make it. It's like production is so difficult that I feel like it's just such an uphill battle for women. And I do worry, like Rachel Patterson has this phrase that she uses that I think is from, I don't know if it's from a Russell M. Nelson talk or something, but he literally warned and said, like, if we lose the moral rectitude of women, like that's the ultimate L. And she says, like, she feels like to a certain extent we have lost the moral rectitude of women. Maybe not quite in Mormonism in the microcosm, but definitely maybe in society in the macrocosm. And so I just think that's what most people intuitively feel. They feel something's not right. Like all is not well in Zion. And we know that men have their problems and we get hammered for it in priesthood. Well, before the feminists got angry that priesthood existed and then they got rid of priesthood, which I don't know if that's just a relief for you and me, not getting told every 6 months how horrible we are, and now just we don't get told anything.
Oh, I think bring priesthood session back.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of people that feel that same way. But I just think a lot of people have seen a lot of societal trends come and go. But the thing that's alarming about woke and the most recent anti-church societal trends is they really succeeded in recruiting women to their ranks, and people felt like, wow, now we have lost the moral rectitude of women. We've never had women get wrapped up in these things like we have with woke over the past like 25 years. So what about it is so, or was so pervasive that you think is gone now? Because that kind of has been the thesis of the past two live streams, that like this really kind of is somewhat a nail in the coffin on woke, Taylor Swift getting married. But like, what about these current societal trends is like so successful with women, and like, what's the antidote?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot that I want to comment on in what you were saying. The first thing that I would say is when it comes to like you said, like if you are a member of the church and you are a woman, generally you are busy, like being a mom, being a wife, like working, whatever you're doing. And so when it comes to like, if you do feel like you are feeling pulled to share, honestly, like what I have had to come to and had to realize is that you cannot even worry about or think about the algorithm. Like, obviously, if I did that, my page would grow faster if I posted every day, if I was on top of it. But what I have like realized and decided is like, I'm just going to do what I can. And if like God wants to amplify it, then he will. And if not, then I'm going to share for the audience that I do have. And that has been just a big relief to me as like a mom, because for me doing my stuff, like it is only during nap time. Like that is when it is an hour or two a day that I'm spending on this. And there are absolutely times when like I wish I could spend more time on it and I'll be like obsessed over a topic. But my priority is being a mom right now. And I love that. And I want that to be my priority. So anyway, I would just say like, don't feel like you have to go all in on like being a content creator in order to get started. Like you can post one video a week. You can post one video a month. Like any little bit that you're contributing that is positive, like we want you in this space, especially as women, to be like, just share your life and share your testimony. And that is such a positive thing. So anyway, I just wanted to say that on that piece of it. And then, man, I don't know, because I feel like we're just barely starting to see the shift in the culture. So I feel like I haven't really seen it like trickle down yet to what that's going to mean, because I feel like it's just the top is changing and now it's like going to trickle down. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But like with Taylor Swift just getting engaged, to me, that's like a marked cultural moment, but I'm curious to see where it leads to from that. So yeah.
Well, how do we capitalize on that a little bit? Like if it is a victory, like how is it a victory, and like how do we capitalize on that as a society?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean that, like I was saying kind of at the beginning, like it just shows that the institution of marriage is something that is worth pursuing and worth being a goal. And now like it leaves open like a space, if the feminism isn't going to be there of you don't need a man, then it leaves open of what should the story be. And that is really where like our theology is like comes in clutch, because it is literally like the perfect theology for women of taking the best parts of the empowerment movement. You know, we did need some progression on women's rights. We needed the right to vote. We needed to be able to work if we wanted to, but it went a little bit too far of throwing the baby out with the bathwater when it came to like marriage and family. So I feel like our theology and our religion really leaves like the best parts of empowerment of, we believe that women are equal to men, which is a unique belief of our theology. And then also it brings all of the empowerment along with the traditional values. So I really feel like we can tell the story of our theology. And one of the places that I love to see it, and let me just pull this up here I don't feel like we talk enough about. I should have pulled this up before.
You can put it in the Discord, and I'll just be able to pull it up on the screen.
It's just scriptures. It's literally
Oh,
just.
okay. Well, you just tell me the scripture. I'll look it up on
Proverbs
scripture notes.
31. The Proverbs 31 women. This is something that I feel like mainstream Christianity, Protestant Christianity, they talk about like a Proverbs 31 woman a lot, but in our church we don't really like hear it referenced a lot. I feel like it's just this first verse that we hear, who can find a virtuous woman for a price is far above rubies, and we kind of take it as like a chastity scripture and we move on. But in Proverbs 31 it describes this woman, and when it says virtuous, what that really means, I can't remember, there's like a root word to it, but what it really means is, in this context, is a strong woman, a morally strong woman. And so it's not just saying this is like a chaste woman and this is what she looks like, but it's saying who is a strong woman. So the reason that I think this is important is like, this is the story that we need to show women and young women today, is the story of this woman that is so incredible, and she's not one extreme or the other. She is like doing it all, which obviously there's a balance. Women don't need to do it all. But anyway, is that tracking what I'm saying?
Oh, totally.
Are you following?
I'm
Okay.
digging. Good job getting a Proverbs 31 woman, bro.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Crushed it.
Thank you.
What did he do that put him apart? How did you guys meet? Actually, we should get that out of the way. How'd you all meet?
Callie, go for it.
How did we meet? Okay, so
Is it that embarrassing, bro?
No.
Is it? It's just like, that's like, I have a friend that met his wife in a strip club, and
Oh,
like he
yeah.
doesn't want to tell the story. He's just like, yeah, you go for it, babe. You know, so like, oh,
It's hilarious. No, ours
You know,
is
so it was a
not
bad
that.
Facebook Marketplace deal gone bad for a new set of tires or something, or like what?
No, there could be a long version of this story with a lot of detail, or I'm sure she'll just keep in the most important parts, and we'll go from there.
Okay, hit it.
Okay, so long story short, we knew of each other for a long time, had a lot of the same friends, and at a school, like, it was the Dew Pong event, so it's like beer pong but with Mountain Dew.
And this is Dixie State.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dixie
my.
State, Utah Tech. He came to the event.
Dew Pong.
Dew Pong, Mountain Dew Pong.
All right.
This was a huge event. This is one of the main things down at Dixie State. It was.
Austin came out for it, so obviously it was a big event.
You came out for Dew Pong.
That's right. I thought we were going to win it all. I don't know what happened, but
Well, you are in a McChicken eating contest
no.
right now.
this is true. So we can come back to the McChicken.
No, you got to tell us what the McChicken eating contest is.
So this is actually a really big deal right now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of my friend's little brothers, super cool kid, and he started a McChicken eating contest. If you could eat a McChicken in under 30 seconds, you would win $1,000. So I entered, won the first round, felt pretty good about it, and then I entered the tournament mode, which is I'm against a kid I believe is in the Philippines, and he's crushing me. So it was a good first round success, I will say, but after that, I don't think I'm going to get to the next round.
Didn't you say he can eat it in something like 12 seconds?
Yeah, so it's unbelievable. The kid's honestly incredible. All props off to this guy. out
Although
in the
McChickens
Philippines.
aren't that big.
So it's
like-
it's harder than you'd think, actually. And we can go get some McChickens after this,
Yeah.
and we can go a little one-on-one. I'd like to see it, but
Okay,
yeah,
it's
hard.
That's gonna be an episode.
You'll see that short
There's
coming
gonna
soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so the pretty brunette who goes to Dew Pong meets the handsome I don't know what to call you, a handsome jock, Mr. Charming, who is slamming McChickens. Okay, so we've got Dew Pong girl meets Mr. McChicken. What was his pickup line?
So he was actually on a date at Dew Pong.
Oh.
So yeah. So, but what happened was I was sitting at the table because I was in like student government. So I was letting people into the event, and I was sitting next to my friend who Austin knew. So he came and said hi. He was actually trying to get in, cut the line. Came up to say hi to my friend, and he reached over and said, "What's up, Callie?" And like gave me a high five, or like, you know, a little high five across the table. So we knew each other well enough to know each other's names, but that was it. That was the extent of the interaction, and I thought nothing of it. Austin can say what he thought about it.
Yeah, my first thought was like, Calli's super cute. I'm going to go try and cut this huge line, go talk with her. And I will say, I did feel something on that high five that she mentioned.
Oh, undoubtedly, my man. Undoubtedly. As did she. And I guess it worked out.
Worked out.
Did you feel said thing in the
No.
high five?
No, I truly was like not thinking anything of it. I had always
She did you dirty, bro.
Yeah, she
No.
did.
Did
She
Austin
did you
have
dirty,
a
bro.
sweaty
That was-
palm?
Here's the thing.
I was
No.
nervous. For
And this is what Austin has gotten his whole life. But like what I had known of Austin up until that point, because I didn't know him at all, like he just came across like kind of like, I don't know what I can say, kind of like D-bag-y, you know? Like
She's
and
not
he-
stopping,
no,
bro.
but here's the thing. He gets
This is
that.
what really
he gets
happened.
that a
This
lot.
is what really happened.
Yeah.
We'll let the story run.
And
getting
so
good.
I wasn't interested at all. Not to be rude, I just wasn't interested. I didn't think we were gonna vibe, and so I didn't think anything of it. And then it was a few days later at said friend's house, who was sitting next to me, that we met again. And while we were there and we were talking, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's actually so nice. Oh my gosh, he's actually so cute. Wait a second, I'm like so into him." So anyway, it was a quick turn, and I'm sure that like, because he's gotten that throughout his life. I don't know. There's just something about like. He's
Do you have
tall and-
RBF, Austin?
I don't. I'm usually very
But he's literally
smiley.
the friendliest, like nicest person ever. But he's gotten that he anyway. So anyway,
happens.
but it all worked out.
All
and
right. It worked out with somebody who's going to keep glowing up. So good job, Austin.
I
Good
will
job,
say,
Austin.
though, even though she did not feel anything on that first initial high five, we dated for 3 months and got engaged, and then we're married 3 months after that. So there was
Nice.
something
Oh,
there.
there was something there. Oh yeah, it was
Okay.
quick.
Rock on.
Yeah, it was
He's your
great.
Travis Kelce. That's what.
Oh yeah.
So hardcore. Okay, awesome. Well, that's good. That's cute. That's good to know. I got a question for you. You talk so much about empowerment, and what was so interesting to watch, and I still see it. Especially in flyover states. I notice it culturally in Mormonism still very much in the West. There's this kind of normie knee-jerk reaction to insinuate equality with whatever the kind of politically liberal definition was and the secular definition. And you said like LDS theology is so about equality. Now, there's a lot of people that bristle at that word because we think that's going to mean like my daughter won't want to have kids, will hate men, and then won't show up to Thanksgiving dinner until Uncle Richard denounces Donald Trump, you know? And that's what people think when they hear the equality word now, because all of the words have been stolen.
Right.
All of the words have been stolen. Same with empowerment. And female empowerment now means like the most empowered women are the women that hate men the most. Like it's literally like neo-Nazism. Like, oh, well, no, I hate minorities even more than you do, you know? And it's like well, no, I hate men even more than you do. Like, what is so empowering about LDS theology that is unique to LDS theology, you think? And define that empowerment. Like, how does it actually empower women?
Totally. And you're right that all of these words have been hijacked. And I use the words just to like try to reach the women who are in the battle right now of wrestling with like, where am I the most empowered? And I mean, the message that is sent from society is like sexual freedom is empowerment, that being able to sleep with whoever you want, go to like do whatever you want anytime, like that is what empowerment is. But that is not what women want. That is not what we are like naturally inclined to want. And to really like thrive, and like there's studies that show that the happiest women are the ones who are married in a family. Like that is where women thrive. And so we think that empowerment means that I get to pursue my every whim. But in reality, true empowerment comes when you are like pursuing something meaningful. And the way that you do that is by being in like a committed, stable relationship. And that gives you the opportunity to be able to pursue the things that you want when you have this stable foundation. And I really feel like that is what the church provides. Austin, do you have any ideas on the unique LDS theology? This is where
Well, even talking about this, and just like the obvious one is, I don't really see anybody else out there talking about a Heavenly Father and a Heavenly Mother. So the whole point of this is one of my favorite things about the gospel is eternal progression. And we each progress, even thinking about like your relationship with your spouse. It's the most fun when Calli and I are both working on our own things and we're both progressing towards a common goal within our couple, like within our own relationship. So like, I love if she's pursuing something that she finds meaningful, whether it's a hobby or like sharing the gospel, whatever it is, especially if I'm pursuing something that is pushing me and challenging me and I feel some progress in that. And that is like the whole point of the gospel is eternal progression to become like our Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, which that is an answer that we give to people through our own beliefs that isn't there in every other religion. So even just like the framework of how couples work in the gospel on an eternal perspective, that's, I mean, one of the coolest answers that I've ever found.
Yeah, I was going to kind of say the same thing, Austin. I think the modern secular woman is tired. And I think it's because we've had years of saying you need to be a boss babe, you need to, screw the patriarchy, do what you want, like Calli was saying. And I think it's women are tired. Women are cyclical. Like, we are not made like men. We are not supposed to be going 100 miles per hour every day. Like, given like our cycle, that's biology. We're not supposed to be like that. So having a Heavenly Mother and realizing I don't have to be masculine, I don't have to become like Heavenly Father, I can become like my Heavenly Mother, and I can emulate her and reach towards that. And she's a goddess, and I can be strong in my femininity and still, like you were saying, reach a common goal with my husband, just like Heavenly Mother does with Heavenly Father.
I love that so much. And I actually shout out to Tikla Fife, Word Radio Women. I just had her on my podcast.
Word.
And we did a podcast and we talked about like exactly what you're saying, Brittany, and the matriarchal order and how women in the church really, like, this is literally the most empowering place to be, because we see the structure of the church and that it is very patriarchal, and we see like men are so like forward facing in the church, but exactly what you're saying of we're cyclical, I don't know if I said that right, and
I think that's right. That's what I said. I don't know.
And seasonal as women, and like we go through seasons of being invincible and being like, I can do all of this without a man, I like want to do everything. And then we go through seasons of being very vulnerable. Like after I had my daughter, I was like, I am so grateful. Like my views got more traditional because I was like, I am in a state of vulnerability right now, and I'm so grateful that I have someone who I can trust to like care for me at this time. And so Tikla was talking about how it's actually beneficial for women that we aren't as forward facing in the church, and that the matriarchal order is something that is a little bit more flexible, and it's something that when we are like feeling it and feeling good, I mean, President Nelson, a plea to my sisters, listen to that talk and tell me that the church isn't empowering women. Like, he literally says over and over again, like, we need women who can speak out. We need women with the courage and vision of our mother Eve. And I mean, that in itself is something that's unique to our theology, that is empowering to women, that we view Eve in a positive light.
Yeah, also imagine how many fewer children women would have in the church if like they were bishops in charge of a congregation. Totally. Like our birth rate would just tank. Like, could you imagine the stress level of that? It would be absolutely absurd. And I'm a very data-driven person. I like giving clips to anti-Mormons so they can just, clip me. That last one was a gift. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm a very data-driven person, and this is a graph that has always very much concerned me. This is the average children birthed per couple or per family or per woman in the United States of America. And as you can see, except for the post-war boom right there, that really only made up for the plummet that preceded it during the war years, we have had a massive steady decline from about 7 kids per family to 6 by 1850, Joseph Smith times, to Rockefeller years, down to 4.5 Pre-war, maybe 3.5. During the war, we were still, during World War II, had a replacement birth rate. During World War II, had a higher birth rate than we do now. And then there was a skyrocket of baby boomers that happened between 1950 and 1970. But now, if you actually expand this graph out, you'll see there's the replacement line.
Wow.
We have never done anything but maybe just kiss it in 2008 and then just barely miss it in 1990. We have not replaced ourselves as a society at large in America because we've convinced women to have less children. And I've oftentimes said, all Noah prophet is super based. And I don't like saying this because it's a pride-filled comment to say like, oh, I'll know the church is true when they do things my way. Like that's just lame and that's not the way it works. So I don't want to come across that way. But I've kind of felt like I'm waiting for somebody to say like, in the name of God, go have more children. Because I swear I feel like that's what it's going to take, because like you can't lie about these numbers. Like we're dying on the vine here, and LDS theology is so pro-family. Your happiness will be more determined by your family life than by any other life, any other professional life, any other kind of artistic life, any other kind of performative life, or whatever. We should be blowing these numbers off the map, and to a certain extent we do. When you look at like the replacement birth rate of just Utah, a heavily LDS dominated state, or at least influenced state, then yes, it's one of the only states outside of like Amish Pennsylvania that actually has a replacement birth rate. But even amongst LDS women, they're not getting married as young, they're not having as many children.
Okay, hold on. This is where I push back a little bit.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? I think sometimes like we can be hard on women and be like, have more kids, but also like today's age is a lot different than what it used to be. And I think, with just how expensive things are and society, and I think there's a lot of factors that go in. So sometimes I get a little hesitant to like totally knock on women because they're not having kids, when that's kind of just like the world we're in. Now I know we can like withstand the world, but
no,
we
you
need a
cannot
little bit
lie.
of help,
Tikla Fife said it very well in a podcast, and it's always rang in my ears, that a woman will have as many children as she feels her society can help her sustain. And
Which is true.
as things get more expensive, you just don't think you can. And men aren't getting married as early until they feel that they actually could support it. So we have women getting married much older, first time home ownership being much older. It used to be like 37, now it's 42. Average first birth for a woman, I think, used to be like 23, now it's like 27. All of these numbers have skyrocketed backwards in time.
I just think, lives are not as stable maybe as they've had been in the past.
Tal cual, as they say in Spanish, tal cual, which I guess would say, be like, absolutely, you're spot on. Spot on. That's the word I was looking for.
Thank you.
So I think that's definitely a huge factor. But I also feel some of it is like, in the face of feminism saying don't have children, in fact, refuse to date a man if he voted for Donald Trump, and don't you dare have kids in the name of climate change. Like, that's when you know you're a real feminist, is when you're on Twitter talking about how you're refusing to have children.
Generational trauma.
Yeah, I'm not passing on generational trauma, and I'm fighting climate change by not having kids. Like, that's ultimate feminism, right? I guess my question is like, how can we as a society, or the church, big C or little c, encourage women, because they do have influence on their couples. They do. Women have great influence on our church. How can we encourage women to value having children more and have more children?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think that it always comes back to like the stories for women, like we're talking about. And I feel like there needs to be a story painted for women of what their life can look like. And I think that a lot of the times we hear life is so short, YOLO, go do what you want, you need to like pursue your ambitions right now. But I say a lot, and I like to say a lot, like, life is long, and women on average live like 7 years longer than men, 10 years longer than men. And so if you were to just like lay it out and look at it, you could take your 20s to have your kids. And then by the time you're in your 30s, you know, your kids are starting to go to school, like your kids are in school, or if you're going to like, I mean, you could do daycare, you could do, your kids are older, and then you could pursue a career if you wanted to. And I feel like this plan hasn't been laid out. It's career first, family second, but there's obviously a time clock for women of when you can have kids. And I feel like the message should be like, take your time in your 20s to have your kids and then see what you want to pursue later, because you actually have a long life ahead of you where your kids aren't going to need you as much as they do initially. And man, I lost my train of thought with that.
What would empower women to have more kids?
Yeah, what would empower women to have more kids?
I have a quick thought here, if you don't mind.
No, we're talking to
I'm
Calli.
like, this is a women's
So, no, I'm just
it is a
kidding.
women's time. I don't want to impose at all. But I just feel like, I can't speak for everybody. In our experience, it takes it is such a joint effort for both of us to be able to figure out how to make this work. Because, like Brittany was just saying, it is so expensive nowadays. Like, things are so much different than they used to be. So if your plan is like, okay, we want to get married, we want to get a house, we want to have a family, it is such a joint effort. So I think even to have it as a goal is so valuable, because then you have a clear aim as a couple of, this is the kind of life we want to live. Like Calli's saying, if we have that story or that vision of how great things can be, then we have a place to work back from and say, okay, if we're going to do this, we have to pursue this type of a career, or I have to get this kind of a skill set. It's not just we're limited at the amount of kids we can have based on what Calli wants, but really like, hey, what can I do in my part of this relationship to make it as easy as possible for us to have the family that we want to have? So it is just such a team effort that, I mean, you just can't accidentally walk your way into that kind of a life. Things are just too crazy right now. It's too expensive. But if you're doing it together and you're like, this is a vision that we have, that's how you're going to get there. And that's at least what's been true in our relationship.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
And, you know, I really like what you said about saying we need to change the narrative that, look, take your time to have your kids in your 20s. It's only easier when you're younger. And also, I'm trying to look for the Jordan Peterson clip, and I can't find it. That's the only problem with all these YouTube shorts. You get fed so many great sound bites, but then you can't scroll through and find the one that you want to when you need it, right? But I really like this phrase that he said. And chat, if you can find this, oh man, I would love this, because I've looked for this twice in 2 different live streams and I haven't been able to find it. So I'll give some kind of free bit of merch to the person that can find this for me if they do. But basically, oh, we got somebody spam in the chat here. I got to get rid of them. All LDS, please repent and come to Christ. You are wicked people. I pray for your souls. Says Caesar is Miss Order 8295, and he just got put in timeout. So anyway, that
Bye,
was
Caesar.
Yeah, bye Caesar. And no, it's not because you were so based that you just, you know, scared us into evangelical submission. It's because 1, 2, 3.
Okay, well, hold on. Before
5,
you get to
6,
the
7.
Jordan Peterson thing, I had to think about like changing the narrative. I think as women, I think we can get together with other women and we like to talk. And I think sometimes we can focus on the negativity because we're trying to commiserate and we're like, oh my gosh, like, did you see what my toddler did? Like, oh, motherhood is so hard. I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. And it's so easy to feed that narrative, but younger girls are watching and your own daughters could be watching. And just, I feel like we have to be careful about what we say, because even though we might not think like what we're actually saying, just the words that we say. So I don't know. I really believe in like, oh man, good thing you blocked Caesar, because I believe in energy and he's going to think I'm wicked for that. But like, I really feel like just the words that you say can totally change a narrative, and the way that you go through, like, move that. Go through, like, move with intention, talk with intention, be conscious about what you're doing, and be careful about what you say around people. Like, build up your husband, build up your kids, build up your motherhood, build up your womanhood, and just not saying that you have to fake it. I don't want it to be fake at all, but just be real and know that like this is so divine, and yeah, like be an example for the younger generation, because I think it could be easy to see how motherhood could be so hard. But do we focus on that, or are we focusing on the good too? And are we sharing the good, or are we only showing like how your life sucked that day? You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, no, I'm loving this whole, I've never been able to put it into a clean soundbite, but you just kind of did for me. The biggest problem with woke, and the reason why we lost the moral rectitude of women, was because we bamboozled them into thinking children last.
Yep.
Children is what you do after you got the job, you got the PhD, you've conquered Wall Street, and then now you can sit back and in your semi-retirement have those children that your grandparents have been asking for, just, to keep the conservatives happy. And that women or children last thing has been so destructive. And it's the reason why the graphs look like this. I mean, this is literally children last as a bottom priority. That's what the graph looks like when you do that. But you're saying children first. And Jordan Peterson did have a really great phrase. He said, what career can't you do with children?
Right.
What lifestyle do you have that you can't just bring your kids along to?
Well, the thing about it too is like, you are so young when you're 18, in your 20s. Like, do you even really know what you want to do with a career yet? Like, I found that for me personally, it was when I after having my daughter, and I know so many other women who are like this, that then they were like, oh, maybe I could pursue this. And the things that I did in college and the things that I worked before becoming a mom are not the things that I want to pursue now. And so I feel like having kids actually puts your mindset into being okay, what do I actually care about? What's actually important? And where can I actually make the most difference in my career? You hear of so many women these days who they become a doctor, they become a lawyer because that was the prestigious thing to say that they were doing to their parents, to their families. But now they're strapped with this student loan debt and they're working in their job. They have a baby and they're like, I want to stay home. I want to be with my baby, but now they're trapped in this job. And so anyway, I'm just have your kids first too, because that might help you really see if there is something you want to pursue that you actually truly care about.
And your kids can become your why, your reasoning of why you're pursuing something, why you're doing something, where if you didn't have kids and you're just in your career, I think it's so easy to just kind of be why am I doing this? I'm single and I have my cat, she's cool, but what, why am I doing this? Where your kids give you purpose. And I hope this goes without saying, but I hope if you're out there and you don't have kids because you physically cannot have kids, I have friends and family that are like that, we're not talking about you. So,
or if you're not married yet.
Yes, disclaimer, obviously that should be well known, but just in case someone's watching.
Yeah, and if you're not, just know that it is your fault.
Oh my gosh.
You should feel absolute shame and hang your head oh so low. No, of course. Yeah.
I had to channel my inner Megan, okay? Hey, Mocha Wolf, okay?
Yeah, for real. So, okay, no, this is really, really good. I've never thought of it that way, that the ultimate antidote of children last is just really, how can we really how can we push that whole children's first motif? Because I just realized it is so true as a man, and hopefully Austin can back me up on this one.
I back you up. I don't know what you're going to say.
I was I'm scared.
Bro. I agree.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, man. Thanks. But getting married and then that additional responsibility and how much attending to your relationship as a married man requires both emotional and mental and physical energy. It limits how much time you have for other things, specifically work. So you end up thinking, okay, I need to get more efficient at my work. And I don't have time for crap that I don't like or I'm not good at. One of the biggest filters for figuring out what actually works and pays bills and you can stand to do and maybe even enjoy and finding your career or your spot. One of the greatest things you can do to get there is, I swear, get married, because of just the filter that it puts into your thought process and how much more efficient it makes you. So it's interesting to see that there's a female analog to that. And you say, okay, encourage women to get married in their 20s. But like, how do we make that cool? Like, what I like about you and your channel is like, you actually make young motherhood look like really cool. I just like, I don't know, you're just hip and you're good at it. And I just think, like, what girl sees that picture and doesn't say, yeah, I want to be in that girl gang right there and be out doing those fun things.
The best girl gang.
Right? Yeah. Is that Emily Bill Freeman's daughter?
No.
Oh, I was not going to say, I met her the other day. I was like, that actually looks like Grace. That's what I was looking for.
No, Grace is cool.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, really fast. Just pick another number. Brittany, a number between 1 and 12. 1 and 12. What's the
8.
number between? 8. Okay. So we're going to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we got Elder TikTok.
Oh,
okay,
man.
let's see what he's got to say.
Because I am in no way comparing myself to the Savior, but who had the thickest skin of all time? It was Jesus Christ. He had the thickest skin of all times, from haters, from Pharisees, from his own friends that betrayed him. So when we receive backlash or pushback, I got to remember how much pushback and how much backlash the Savior got, right? Not even immensely close to what we go through as online content creators, if that makes sense. So just have a thick skin, knowing that if somebody
Pausing for copyright.
disagrees with you, especially in the realm of Christian content creation, just Christ-like love, just show that at all.
Hey, he's got the same haircut as Austin.
Hey, I copied him.
Yeah, dude, rock on. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not here to look at Tao Tai. I was looking at him all live stream. We'll choose 8 from this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Oh, you're talking about the secret lives of Mormon wives.
Okay, so what are my thoughts on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? To be completely honest with you, I am not a huge reality TV person in general. I didn't watch the first season except for episode 1, which
Okay, I got a question for you now. So you're talking Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. What do you think? Net positive or negative for the church? I have my opinions. What do you think?
Man, I don't know
Also,
anymore.
when's the last time you went swinging with Austin?
Yeah, we haven't been invited to those parties.
Oh, okay.
Heck.
Okay. Yeah. So net positive or negative for the church?
Oh, man, I feel like my opinion is like teetering right now, because I feel like I have thought net positive in general, because it just brings more attention and more people who are interested are going to find it. But I feel like I'm like teetering as it gets bigger and like bigger and bigger. It's just making me nervous, I guess. So I don't know.
Okay, here's a funny one. Does the temple feel like a cult? I know Brittany's got different. Yeah, people got different. You know, let's see what this one is.
as someone who's preparing to go through the temple, what would your advice be to them if they are seeing the stuff on social media from the opposite side, that it's going to be a cultish experience, you're going to feel so much pressure? What's kind of your advice to someone who has heard that and is maybe not nervous, but just kind of like, okay, I don't know what to expect going into this?
My heart goes out to a lot of the people preparing to go to the temple today, because they can't even choose to avoid a lot of the desecration of the temple that happens on social media. If you're on TikTok, you're going to see it, because as soon as the algorithm knows you're a member of the church, it'll start feeding you Mormon and Latter-day Saint content, and a lot of that is going to be antagonistic, and a lot of it is going to be, exposing temple ceremonies, and so you can't really avoid it. But at the same time, I think that's made for a lot of resiliency among members of the church. Like, they see a lot of the worst possible spin about what happens in the temple, and so if they're still willing to make those covenants, that they are prepared and they're resilient.
Okay, cool. Super bass Jasmine. This prompted a question from me. I think our temple prep sucks.
Oh yeah.
I just think it's kind of lame, and it's a little bit weak sauce. And because of that, people go to the internet and then they learn only worst case scenarios and worst possible narratives and takes, and it's horrible. Is there anything you think the church with a big C or the church with a little c could do to encourage more temple worship, more temple attendance, and more temple marriages, which is the ultimate backstop really against a lot of these just bad familial trends?
Man, I'm trying to think off the top of my head of what the church could do. I mean, I think that we've opened up the conversation about the temple a lot more in the recent years. And I think that that's a really good thing, because it was so like no one knew what they could or couldn't talk about. And I think that that did make it feel more like an off limits conversation. But I feel like since that's opened up so much more, that has been beneficial in general. And so I feel like just having the conversations that we can have with people who are younger, I think that that is beneficial overall to encourage temple attendance. I don't know, just like, I mean, listening to the positive stuff online now, like there's so much good out there now. Like at first there was way more negative or only negative, but there is so much good out there. Like Jasmine's done so many good things, like even like Tikla's video on the temple as a birth story, like out that you guys did for Ward Radio. Like there's just so many cool things that you can listen to now that it's like, go listen to that and see the temple in a new light.
So who do you listen to? Who are you hooked on?
Who am I hooked on? Man, I mean, honestly,
I know you and Austin said you're big Theo Vaughn fans.
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, here are my favorite people, and they're not members of the church necessarily, but the ones that I listen, not necessarily, they're not.
They
so
will
my
be.
main
No,
people, and it's a funny combination. So Sadie Robertson, her podcast, you know her?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know her podcast, but I know who she is.
Yeah. So she's like Christian and has like a Christian kind of like ministry podcast. So I love her.
Does she veer into anti-Mormonism like all the other Protestant evangelicals?
No.
So she keeps it pro-Jesus, not anti-Mormon.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. No, I've actually never heard Mormons mentioned on her.
Oh, good for her.
Podcast.
Okay, cool. We'll pop her, or not pop her, publicize, pub her.
Yeah,
that's what it's like.
Yeah,
for.
so she's awesome. And then
I'm not a mafia. I'm not a mafia hitman. Yeah, we're gonna go pop Luis. You know, like, okay.
So I'm obsessed with her, and then Jordan Peterson. I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan.
Really?
Yes.
What makes you a Jordan Peterson fan? Usually that's a guy thing. I got hooked.
Yeah. When we were first married, it's actually funny. I was reminded of it as we were driving out here. We were on our way back from Disneyland driving, and Austin was like, I was driving because Austin was going to take a nap, and I was like, I'll listen to 12 Rules for Life. Like, Austin's been telling me about it, so I'll just like turn it on. And my mind was blown. I was like, he's talking about Adam and Eve. He's talking about like this is so good. And it was actually hugely beneficial for me and for us at the beginning of our marriage to see, like, be given an alternative to what marriage and relationships could look like. Because I have great parents, like, they're awesome, but it was very much a, like, sweep things under the rug, you know, like, growing up. And I didn't like that, but I didn't know the alternative. And so Jordan Peterson, I feel like just the way he laid things out made so much sense to me of, like, don't hide things in the fog, like, bring things up if something is an issue. And so it was just, like, super influential at that phase of our life. And
okay, cool. So we're gonna set a little goal here, guys. We're already 1 hour in, so we're already into overtime, but I didn't get the goal here, so we'll make it small.
Hey, Carden, I had a question first before we do that.
Okay.
Back to, like, how do we open up?
Look at what I allow in my relationship, Austin.
Equality.
Just see, you know,
this is true equality.
Was this not just a blatant interruption followed by a yes, speak, my love?
I'll interrupt you again because you just interrupted me.
You know?
But okay, back to how you were saying, like, how do we open up the conversation, right, or make temple prep less sucky? I think it was Elder TikTok. He had this awesome video where if people say, like, we're a cult, I think for a long time we're like, no, we're not a cult, and we try to prove why we're not. What if we're like, yeah, and so what? What are you gonna do about it? Like, let us.
Yeah, I'm in a cult and it's ill.
But he was like, let us have our cult. Like, you have your things you're into. Like, stop. Like, anyway, I thought that was so great because it's empowering us. It's like the woke words, right? If someone's like, you're a racist, misogynistic, homophobic, and you're like, wait, no, I'm not. And then it puts you on the defensive if you were just like, yeah, I'm in a cult. Like, I think people would be so shocked. They would be like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, it's like, what's a more interesting pitch? No, I'm not a racist, misogynist bigot.
Yeah.
No, and let me tell you why not. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Or just being like,
I have an Asian friend who's gay, I swear, and it's just like you get yourself on the defensive. It's like,
Yeah. How much better would it be just to lean into the meme and just be like, yeah, you're a racist, bigot, misogynist, homophobe. Just be like, no, I'm the most racist, bigoted, misogynist, homophobe. Do you know what my religion says about those people? No, what? You know, it's just like how much women listen to true crime. You almost wonder if we've been doing our pitch wrong and we need to flip it, you know?
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
not a bad idea.
We got to find that elder. I think it's elder TikTok. I'm like 98% sure.
It might have been Tao Tai. Yeah,
I
but
think it was.
Yeah, what if when they say that, like, oh no, Mormon marriage, it's the worst. It disempowers women. Oh no, that's not even the first of it.
Like, you have no idea.
We just like lean in and we say it really low. Should be like, do you know where
It's
my
actually
wife
a good
is now?
idea. Someone should run with that.
Right? Instead of, like-
Apologetics as a crime podcast,
Yeah.
as a true crime podcast, but positive.
It's like, do you know what my wife is subjected to in our house?
Oh, geez. Watch.
That
And
is
now,
valid.
like, the worst person possible is listening to this and, like, taking my idea. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, that just backfired.
The podcast, true Mormon misogyny crimes, it just starts out with a deep voice like, she wasn't allowed to leave the kitchen for 6 weeks. You know, and it's like, and when she was, it was only tied to, you know, like, it was just like that. Actually, that would be a great voice. As I'm losing my voice, the deep, you know, 1980s Bad Boys narrator comes out. So anyway,
Hold on. Mocha Wolf. She
Yes.
just said, I'm assuming you're a girl. She said, Megan energy has been exceeded.
Wow. what a
Thank you.
compliment.
Amazing.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
Or guy. I actually don't know.
Okay, so anyway, I see that you challenged Alyssa Grenfell here, and I want to see that one. Here we go. Stitch incoming.
This is how I've seen traditional religions keep women poor. First, there's the devaluing of the education. Once you're married, your husband makes the money, he opens the account, and growing up, you were always taught how to pinch pennies and how to save money at the grocery store, but you were never taught to see finances as something that should be approached with equality. If you're modeling your marriage after the traditional marriage you saw your family grow up in, then when your husband tells you what you can and can't buy, it will probably feel normal. I've often seen in these scenarios that the house is in the husband's name, the car is in the husband's name, everything is in the husband's name.
Okay, so it is unfortunate that this was Alyssa's experience growing up in a traditional religion.
Oh, but by the way, do we actually know that or not? I found that when people do this whole ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon thing, there's this brand new, oh, by the way, Vocal Zone really works. Okay. But it makes you salivate like crazy, all right? I mean, you'll be swallowing your own spit and it'll be going down the wrong tube all day long. So just proceed with caution is all I can say. So anyway, when people go down this like ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon route, and I know this because it's been our own personal friends and neighbors. Like everybody here has somebody who's just gone super woke, super anti-Mormon, and you just see how like, bro, that's not your origin story. You weren't beaten by your father. I was there your entire life. Our dad had his quirks and, you know, had his weaknesses, but he was not an abusive guy. But now you're saying this to fit in on ex-Mormon subreddit, and it's just plain old cruel.
That's what I said. They play
Like-
telephone with themselves.
Oh, totally.
They keep saying it
Yeah.
out loud, and then it comes back, and then it becomes worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
So sometimes I wonder, like, when we try and debunk people, if we even just like, I don't even want to be validating their stories anymore because I just don't believe half of them. You know, because it's just been so beaten to death. Like, so many people Jussie Smolletted Mormonism, okay, and what Mormonism is for so long, that now when they say, like, it's MAGA country or whatever, I'm just like, it is no different. Like, I don't want to believe your Jussie Smollett version of your history that you say to fit in an ex-Mormon subreddit. So I'm sorry, I interrupted your post, Calli. I interrupted
okay.
your post.
No, that's totally fine.
But that is what this is. It is her experience. This does not reflect the teachings of the church, but rather the seemingly unhealthy marriage and relationship with money that she saw growing up. This has not been my experience at all. And just to be completely frank here, I think that women in the church are a little bit sick of hearing that every single structure and organization is oppressive for women. So I have a question for you. What if the structures and organization of the church actually empowers women rather than oppresses them? What if the patriarchal order that we can see so visibly in the church is actually the perfect setting for the matriarchal order, which we don't hear about as often, to thrive. If you want to hear more about this concept, then go listen to my most recent podcast episode on...
Wait, what's this matriarchal order nonsense? Are you trying to inject blasphemy into my patriarchy?
Hey, no.
What's going on here? Me and Austin had a good thing going on here. We got women to submit to us and marry us, and now they are literally our property. Cannot leave the kitchen without permission. And next they're going to be putting shoes on. What is this?
Actually, I wish I could never leave the kitchen. I just started a sourdough starter, and it's like taken over my life.
Oh.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
Do you love it?
Put me back in the kitchen.
So are you having fun with it?
Yeah, I haven't made any sourdough yet because I'm a little bit scared because I'm like, how do you know when the starter is done?
Yeah,
I don't
have
know.
No idea.
I don't know.
That's true. And it's been taking up a lot of space on our countertop. And
yeah.
It keeps getting bigger and bigger inside
I know.
Inside that mason jar.
It's a little science experiment right now.
Like, I wonder at what point it's just going to blow up the mason jar.
I already broke one mason jar.
Yeah.
It's fine. My sourdough's fine. If you want some, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it can't like kill you and like develop botulism if it goes bad or something, right?
I mean, we'll find out.
Okay, so I'm going to be the first one tasting that one, I have a feeling, huh?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, cool. That's funny. That's awesome. So what's this matriarchal order you're talking about? How do you think it empowers women if they knew more about it?
Yeah, so this is the concept that really like Tikla has put forth that we were talking about on this podcast episode. But basically she just talks about how like the structure of women in the church, just because like we don't see it visibly doesn't mean it's not there, but it's actually really beneficial for women that it is more of a flexible structure. Because really, so like patriarchal, she breaks down the word, I can't think of it all as perfectly, but really what it means is becoming a father, like entering into fatherhood. And same with matriarchal, it's the order of becoming a mother. And so when we hear of patriarchal as the order of becoming a father, it kind of switches our mindset on it from it being like just about a power thing to it really being about a service and a humbling thing, kind of like you were describing earlier. And I think that that really is when we look at the structure of the church, it is a structure where it develops good fathers and good husbands. And that is so beneficial for women. We think that, or like the critics of the church will say that because it's so like male dominated in the leadership that it's wrong or hurting women, but really it's like this incredible system that generally pumps out really awesome responsible men to be husbands and fathers. And so anyway, and then you'll have to go listen to the episode because it was a really good one, and she says things with so much more like wisdom and eloquent, so much more eloquently than I can. But
all right, rock on. That's what happens when you contribute regularly to the Women of Ward Radio. You become more articulate. Mm-hmm. We invite you to come on the show and participate regularly, and we'll profiteer off of your wisdom and insight any day of the week. So my last question. We're in overtime here, guys. I got 2 more questions for Calli. If we get 4 more super chats in the next 5 minutes, because we have another 100 people that have just joined our live stream here in the past 30 minutes, then Calli will answer a third. But here's the first one. Here's the first one right here. What is your favorite post? Like, what's your favorite post where you just thought, oh, that one was a banger, that one was hilarious, that one was funny, that one was insightful? Do you have any that come to mind? Because you got a lot of really good stuff here.
Well, I can tell you the one that, I don't know if it's my favorite, but the one that brought the most like traction if you just scroll a little bit farther down.
Okay, yeah.
So that one on the left, the watch list before going down an ex-Mormon rabbit hole.
Oh,
This is kind of the one that gave me my start, we could say, because this was the post that Haley Ross stitched. And when she stitched it, I was at 400 followers. So it was hilarious to me that she was stitching it in the first place. Maybe she just thought it was a slam dunk. And literally within like a week, I had 4,000 followers. So it really like gave me this gigantic boost in the beginning that happened all at once.
Did you say thanks, Haley?
No, literally.
Yeah.
I actually made a response after that one, like
Nice.
responding to her. And it was literally like, this is only a good thing for me. Like, thank you. So anyway.
Okay, we'll check it out. Well, let's see. Watch this before going down ex-Mormon rabbit
Here
hole.
are 3 things you should know before ever going down an ex-Mormon rabbit hole. Number 1, the church isn't hiding anything. Despite what the critics will tell you can learn about all of the sticky parts of the church and church history on the church's website.
But it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hilarious that people write these books about like the hidden history nobody knew about of the Mormon church. And it's all like photocopies of books that they checked out for free in the church history library.
I'm like, just because they aren't teaching it to you in primary doesn't mean that they're hiding it from you.
And half the time it's like things that I knew about in seminary that we talked about regularly with Sister Halliday. And it's like, just because you slept through seminary doesn't mean this stuff was hidden from you. You were under your hoodie snoozing. All right. Like it just, and then now you've never seen lazy learners become college professors faster than when they go ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon. Then they can't get their nose out of the book, out of our general conference. Oh my gosh. I have never watched an entire general conference. Did you know that? I've never actually been from beginning to end able to watch all 3 sessions without falling asleep, missing something, having to travel. Perfect example.
We just learned about Saturday session. Okay. No,
actually, I didn't know there was a Saturday session until I went to college at BYU. I'll be honest with you. My family was always out and about on Saturdays and everything. And I remember I was sleeping in. On Saturday, my buddy comes and bangs on the door at Deseret Towers. And he's like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? He's like, come on, are you going? Get in your church clothes. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we're going to conference. I'm like, it's not until tomorrow. And he's like, Saturday session, you idiot. I remember I was like, there's a Saturday session, just
it's
like
incredible.
I knew about priesthood session, but that was like literally it. Right. So I've never watched an entire conference in my entire life, but man, I know there's ex-Mormon, anti-Mormons that have every single one. And sure, I end up catching up later on by listening to it on the podcast or listening to it on the LDS Church app or whatever, reading it in the Ensign, shall we say. But holy smoke, man, you literally said the church isn't hiding anything, and that is a third rail.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is a third rail of like, no, I'm glad it works for you, but I found the deep gnosis, and I know too much. So, wow, that's funny. Okay, we're going to start this one all over again. This is too good. This is too good. We just got to watch this one again. Here we go.
Before ever going down an ex-Mormon rabbit hole. Number 1, the church isn't hiding anything. Despite what the critics will tell you, you can learn about all of the sticky parts of the church and church history on the church's website and from current active members. Number 2, just like all other content creators, they make more money if their content gets more views and engagement. In this context specifically, this leads to more extreme and inflammatory takes on the church than they might otherwise have to drive viewership. And number 3, it is easier to tear something down than it is to build something up. Anyone can kick down a barn, but it takes a good carpenter to build one. Lies are clean and short and eye-catching. The truth has depth and takes time to understand. If you want to hear more from me on this topic, go listen to my most recent podcast episode.
All right.
I love it, Calli. I love it.
So cringy to watch, but
that was early days too. Like, Calli had not been doing this very long. And then she made
like
that
a couple
video,
weeks, yeah.
And I feel like we woke up in the morning. And I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like this girls camp podcast just clipped you or whatever, stitched you." Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
Your sound in the car is really good too.
It's a good hack. You don't need any equipment. Just go record yourself with your phone in the car.
Yeah, you got them leather seats. You go, girl.
Okay, and you know
Holy
what I
smoke.
just thought of? With Exmo content creators, I kind of hate that we call them content creators because they don't create anything. They just react to things. They're content reactors. They don't really build community. They just have little like demon minions that just kind of latch onto them because they're miserable too. And they're just reacting to stuff that the church is doing. They would have no content whatsoever without the church. And they're not building anything up, like you said in that video. Like,
and you know what's so funny about that is I actually just checked when we were on our way over here. So in January, Haley Rawl made a whole podcast saying that she has an announcement that she's moving away from deconstructing Mormonism and is going to focus on reconstructing her belief system. So that was in January. And you look at every single post since then, no reconstructing is happening.
Yeah.
It is all still.
It's easier to react to someone else
Yes.
saying something than it is to create
and
something.
they don't have something better to replace it with.
Yeah.
Like they just genuinely don't have like a more beneficial way of living to replace it with.
Dude, the church is kind of like capitalism. It's like, yeah, I what's that phrase? I believe capitalism is the worst economic system, except for all the other ones that we've tried already, right? So it kind of is that way. It's like, yeah, we got our problems, but I haven't found a better society where there's more chance for more people to be risen out of spiritual poverty, metaphysical, physical, social, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's true. That's wild. That's awesome. I dig it. And then I just had 2 other questions here, or one. And then I don't know if we get 3 more super chats, maybe another one. What got you over the edge to actually start talking about the church on your Instagram profile?
Yeah.
Like what was like the moment where you really said like, okay, I'm going to be doing not just, hey, unique 300 friends that I know and that I've met personally, here's a picture of my new pet goat on my farm or whatever. Okay. Like what made you decide I'm actually going to do, I mean, some might call it apologetics. I don't know if it's necessarily apologetics as much as just like talking about the church at large, defending the church at large. Like what got you over the edge to do that?
Yeah, so basically about a year ago, I had an impression that essentially led me to realize that all of the most, literally what we've been talking about, most popular ex-Mormon content creators, for lack of a better term, were in this young mom demographic, and that there wasn't really someone in that same demographic speaking on the positive side. And so I just like had that impression and had that thought, and it wasn't until 6 months later that I actually made the first initial post. And I feel like during that time it really was a battle, and I mean genuinely I knew I was gonna do it, but there was a lot that went into like, am I really gonna start posting about the church so publicly? And kind of my whole like take on it, especially initially, was like, let's talk about the controversial parts of the church, because the critics want you to believe the church is hiding things, and I believe that if it's true, then the truth fears no question. So let's talk about it. Like, let's make this a space where we can talk about it. So anyway, there was a lot that went into that decision, but I feel like when it came down to it, it was basically like, this is something that I've talked to my friends and family about. I've said I was going to do, and if I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to do it. And literally, like, kind of what I said at the beginning too, of if you think something's true, then you should be willing to say it. And I think that when people aren't willing to say the things that they think are true, then that leads society in a bad direction. Like, we've seen that happen throughout history. If you're not willing to speak up and share what you believe and what you actually think is true. And I kind of felt like that was what was happening in this space, was a lot of people disagreed with what they were saying and what was going on, but no one was speaking up against it. And that's what I really found has been the response to my page, is people just being like, oh, thank you. Like, I'm so glad that someone is finally like saying something about it. And there's others who do it as well. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but. So
I'm curious, from your perspective, who are the most effective anti-Mormons and why for women?
So I honestly, Haley Rawl, Girls Camp Podcast, and I think that the reason why is she comes at it from a very like anecdotal storyline narrative, which really resonates with women, of like more of the emotional side of things, rather than just laying out, here is like the actual doctrine, here is the logistical truth. And I think that that really resonates with women, is being able to have the like relatability of a story. Honestly, I feel like she's the main one, because I feel like Alyssa Grenfell is really more just like the shock factor. I don't necessarily think that she's like, I don't know. Most of my friends have heard of Girls Camp.
So you think Girls Camp's more effective at actually getting real Mormon women to leave the church because of her anecdotal narrative driven approach to it. Whereas
Yeah, because you can't really like debunk people's stories. I mean, you can be like, nah, I'm calling BS, but there's no hard and fast like, no, that's wrong.
Whereas Alyssa Grunfeld is just it's shock jock cult porn for non-members who already thought we were weird because they didn't know a single Mormon, and the second they meet a real member of the church, they're like, okay, I don't know if everything I hear is true, but I ain't going to their temple. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Okay. Interesting.
I don't know
Okay.
if there's really any other ones that I would say are like so effective at this point. I mean, there's tons out there, tons of accounts, but I kind of am like, if I see someone, I'm like, I'm not going to give you attention unless I feel like you're really like dragging people down. You know what I mean?
And then last question before we go. If you all of a sudden were called to be the Relief Society president, and we stopped just having cotton tops run the church. By the way, I shouldn't say Relief Society, general presidency, right? Actually, no. Let's do that.
If I was called to be the general,
if you were put in charge right now, just right now, right? Because this is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 2025. We don't let anything but boomers run the show. But boomers and above need apply. That's it. But let's just say all of a sudden, young mother like yourself was just tapped to, say her piece in general conference and address all the young women of the church. Like, if you actually could do that, what would you say?
Wow.
Like, what message, if you knew you could instill it in the heart of every young LDS woman, and then it would combat all of this grossness that we've talked about and actually lead them to happiness, and you could only say like 2 or 3 sentences, what would those 2 or 3 sentences be?
I would say that who God says you are and your identity in Christ is so much greater than who society says you are and who society wants you to be. And that if you lean into that and lean into the actual words of the scriptures of who God says you are, that is where you are going to find your greatest potential to become everything that you want to be. And that truly, like, that is the path that leads to the most happiness long term. I don't know. Was that good?
That was great.
That was pretty killer.
I was over here like, ooh, that's a lot of pressure, Carden. Like, dang.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, like, what would I like instill? Like, what would I start? And I think that what I would start would be a Relief Society girls camp. Like, I feel like Relief Society needs like a summer camp for women. Does that sound fun?
Dude, I've said the exact same thing about Elders Quorum.
Yoga retreats.
I've said the first person that treats Elders Quorum like adult Boy Scouts is going to just win their stake. You know, wow. And then, you know what? I see on your page, we got to go, so we don't have time for this, unfortunately, but I see my husband's conversion to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. What the heck? You're a convert, Austin?
Oh, I am a convert.
Wow.
Well,
that might have to be another video. That'll be cool.
Born and raised in the church, but
I see.
Obviously, we're all converted at different times.
It's one of those cop-outs. Yeah,
warm fuzzies.
No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. That's funny. All right, awesome. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. You have to check out her YouTube channel. She's only got 295 subs on YouTube. What the heck? I know you're on Instagram. That's your main platform, and you're starting to do
we have one more
podcast,
super chat
though.
before you end.
Yeah. Read the super chat before you end.
Gentile Ben says, for the Ellis family, you guys rock. Hold to the rod. Go forth with the spirit and in faith. I hope you know you are appreciated.
Oh, rock on. Sick.
Thank you so much. That was so sweet.
So, yeah, everybody, you got to blow up her channel, About Our Hope, it's called. All right. She's on YouTube as well. And you're going to start doing long-form podcasts there, it looks like, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. So she's got long-form podcasts going on. It's super cool. She's a ton of fun, very insightful. Got the whole thing going on. Got her own Instagram page. She's got the hip outfits. She's got the hot husband. You know, what's the term in the girls' world for crushing it? Just
man crush.
Or no,
man
she's
crush
just
Monday.
Slay
she's
queen.
slaying.
Yeah,
she's slaying. You know, It's Calli Baker, both on Instagram and on YouTube. It's called About Our Hope. If you guys like what you see and you want to purchase some merch, please check us out at the Ward Radio merch store. We also got some War in Heaven veteran hats in. I think there's about 7 left, so make sure you catch them before they're all sold out. If you're a person of means that wants to contribute to the program directly, please consider a generous contribution through Zelle or through Venmo. We're available on both those platforms. And, oh yeah, we've been getting all kinds of help from people who've helped us out on the Amazon wish list, and we actually had somebody get us this DJI Osmo 360, and it was super helpful, as well as some other equipment. There's a couple of other odds and ends that are still on the Amazon wish list. If you guys want to help us out with that, they get this cool little card that you guys can write a message on, and we'll read it on screen if you actually get something from the Amazon wish list. Some people just buy us these things. I guess they want to give anonymously, but other people write like haikus or limericks, and it's actually really fun to read online. So there's some cheap stuff. Like I even have just a couple of t-shirts for guests to wear on the show or for me to wear on the show. Also some books. Somebody just got us a book that was really cool. They came in the mail. But yes, please write a limerick, a haiku, or a rap, and we will do our best to read it on screen as well. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys. It's been real, and it's been fun, and it's been real fun. For this and more, please make sure you check us out at wardradio.com.
I built a rocket in my basement. I'm gonna fly it to the moon. This supersonic is amazing. You're gonna feel my sonic boom.